Something is happening right now, something most people can't see yet, but that can already be felt by those who have learned to listen to the silence. It's subtle, almost imperceptible, like the exact moment when the wind shifts direction before a storm. The world looks the same, but something profound is moving beneath the surface, a silent calling, an ancient pulse awakening once more inside each of us. Maybe you felt it too, that strange sensation that everything is about to change, even if no one can quite explain why. On the surface, life goes on the same routines, the same conversations, the same urgencies. But deep within, a quiet questioning is growing, a restlessness that can no longer be silenced. The things that once made sense now sound hollow. The promises of the old world success, status, speed are starting to lose their shine. It's as if something inside you is preparing for a new beginning, one that doesn't yet have a name. This is the silence before the new era, the pause between the last echo of the old world and the first whisper of the new. It's not a silence of absence, it's fertile, full of potential, a space where everything that was asleep begins to rearrange itself. And it's within this invisible space that awakening begins. Perhaps the most curious thing is that this awakening doesn't arrive through grand events, but through the smallest perceptions. A conversation that touches you more deeply than usual. A dream that keeps returning. An inexplicable desire to simplify, to be present, to connect for real. While the world out there chases noise and distraction, something inside you begins to ask for pause, space, truth. And this is where many people get confused. Because silence can feel like emptiness, it can feel like loss. But what's really happening is birth. What you experience as loneliness is simply your old self stepping aside, making room for who you are becoming. What seems like an ending is, in truth, the first movement of a new cycle. There comes a point in every awakening when the noise becomes unbearable. The old narratives fear urgency. The need to prove something simply stop fitting. That's the universe gently pushing you inward so you can reconnect with your own center. And that's why so many are feeling this deep exhaustion, this urge to stop. It's not laziness, it's alignment. It's the body asking for space to update itself. It's the soul asking for silence so it can remember who you are. While some rush to keep the old structure standing, others are surrendering to the flow not out of weakness, but out of wisdom. They know that fighting against the tide of change is a waste of energy, that there are moments when the greatest act of courage is simply to remain present, to observe, to breathe, to wait for the right moment to act. The silence before the new era is a field of gestation, the interval where the old system dissolves so that the new can be born. It is uncomfortable, yes, because the ego doesn't understand what's happening. It craves movement, control, certainty. But awakening doesn't come through control. It blossoms through surrender. Posso continuare agora calma part 2 a parte de voce pod noter que as anagas formulas de sucesso já neo funcionam. Mês 8, o que é essential sobrevive? Quer que eu mantenha o mesmo estilo narrativo e poético. Ideal para vosem off the video spiritual? You may notice that the old formulas for success no longer work the way they used to, that the linear paths are breaking apart, that the people you once knew are changing, that even the most solid structures, governments, economies, beliefs are trembling. This isn't chaos. It's recalibration, the world reorganizing itself to sustain a new frequency of consciousness. And in that process, many things will seem to fall apart. But what's collapsing was never real to begin with. It was built on fragile foundations of fear. What is true remains. What is essential survives. You may feel an emptiness, a pause between what was and what is not yet. And that pause can be unsettling. But it's within that very space that the new version of you is being written. You are being invited to release your old definitions, what you did, what you believed, what you expected, and allow something greater to move through you. This silence is a bridge, and only those who have the courage to cross the unknown will reach the other side more whole than before. Maybe you felt a change in rhythm, as if time itself were slowing down to force you to truly see. It's the call of presence. The old world was driven by urgency and haste. The new world is born from clarity and intention, where before you had to run to avoid being left behind. Now the lesson is to walk slowly enough not to lose what truly matters. You start realizing that real progress isn't horizontal, it's vertical. It's not about going farther, it's about going deeper. It's not about accumulation, it's about understanding. And when that realization takes root, everything changes. Your goals transform. Your gaze softens. Your heart becomes a compass once more. That's when silence reveals itself. It's not the absence of sound, it's the presence of meaning. It's the space where the invisible speaks. When you learn to listen to this silence, you realize it's not empty, it's full of wisdom. It shows you what truly holds value. It teaches you what is enough. It calls you back home inward. But the old world tries to distract you. It wants you to doubt, to run again, to numb yourself with noise and consumption. It fears silence because silence gives you back your power. And when a person awakens and becomes whole, they can no longer be manipulated. That is the real reason behind so much confusion out there. The chaos is simply the noise of the old system trying to stay alive. But the new is already growing quiet, discreet, inevitable. It grows in people who choose empathy over judgment, in businesses that value purpose over profit, in communities that help instead of compete, in hearts that choose to feel, even when it would be easy to run. You are already part of this, even if you don't realize it. Every time you pause and breathe before reacting, every time you listen instead of imposing, every time you say no to what hurts and yes to what expands, you are collaborating with the new era. Awakening isn't a single global event. It's a sequence of small, daily awakenings. It's that moment when you understand you no longer have to fight life, only flow with it. And that's where the magic begins, when your rhythm starts to align with the rhythm of the universe. When your inner silence harmonizes with the cosmic silence. When you realize there is no separation, that the same pulse moving the tides is the one beating within your heart. Many mistake silence for inertia, but it's the opposite. From silence are born the brightest ideas, the purest creations, the most accurate decisions. Silence is a space where the soul can finally speak without interruption. And maybe that's what the universe is asking of us now, to listen again. To listen to the body, to instinct, to the heart. To listen to intuition, the language of the soul. To listen to the planet itself, which has been trying to tell us for a long time that the external imbalance is only a reflection of the inner one. The new world doesn't need to be invented. It already exists within everyone who chooses consciousness. And when conscious people find one another, the old world begins to dissolve naturally. Have you noticed how more and more people are talking about presence, purpose, energy, reconnection? It's not a trend, it's a symptom. A symptom that the collective is awakening. That people are tired of merely surviving and ready to truly live. And this movement is silent because what is true doesn't need to shout. It simply is. So if you feel that strange mixture of uncertainty and hope, know this: you're not alone. You're simply feeling what the entire planet is feeling, the birth of a new time. And every birth requires contraction before expansion. Every awakening brings confusion before clarity. Every rebirth asks for silence before sound. The new era won't be announced in headlines. It will be felt in gestures, in choices, in simple conversations between people who have decided to be more human. It will begin when we can look into each other's eyes without fear. When we understand that there are no sides, only one field of life expressing itself in different forms. When love stops being a speech and becomes practice again. The silence before the new era is a call to that kind of love. Not the romantic, idealized one, but love as presence, as listening, as care. The love that holds chaos without being lost in it. The love that remains when everything changes. And it is within this silent love that the new world will rise. So if everything seems still, if nothing seems to move, trust. Roots grow in the dark. The invisible is working for you. Your task is to stay awake. To choose peace when the world chooses panic. To choose silence when everyone else is screaming. To choose truth, even when it hurts. You are part of this transition. You are a living cell within a planetary body that is healing itself. Every clear thought, every compassionate gesture, every conscious pause is a contribution to this new frequency being born. Don't wait for leaders, miracles, or signs in the sky. The sign is you. The new era begins within your own heart. And when you change, everything around you changes too. The silence you fear today will become the melody of your next version. So don't run from it, step into it. Allow yourself to be transformed by what you don't yet understand. Life isn't punishing you, it's preparing you. Every pause is an initiation. Every uncertainty is an invitation. Every farewell from the old is the birth of the new. You don't need to rush. You only need to remain conscious. Silence is the master who speaks softly. But if you listen with your heart, it will tell you everything you need to know. And when the noise outside tries to distract you, remember, true power lives in calm. True awakening is silent. The real miracle is a consciousness quietly blooming inside you right now. The new world will not be built by those who shout the loudest, but by those who can remain present when everyone else loses their center. And if you've made it this far, it's because something within you is already ready to trust more, to feel more, to participate more. So take a deep breath. Let the silence move through you. You are exactly where you need to be. What comes next doesn't depend on prediction, but on presence. The future isn't out there somewhere. It lives in the small, conscious choices you make now. Choose to act with kindness. Choose to speak with intention. Choose to feel before you react. These are the seeds of the new world. And when millions of people do the same quietly every day, the entire planet will shift in frequency. Silence isn't the end. It's the prelude to awakening. So when the world seems dark, remember, the dawn always begins in the shadows. And if this message resonated with something inside you, if it awakened a silent echo within your soul, share in the comments what you're feeling right now. I want to know if you, too, can sense this quiet calling that's growing within so many hearts. And if this video spoke to your soul, like, share, and subscribe, not just to support this channel, but to continue walking alongside thousands of others who, just like you, are listening to the same silent calling of the new era. Because awakening doesn't happen alone. It happens when awakened souls recognize each other. And maybe that's why you're here. Welcome to the silence before the new era. Welcome to the new you